Internet! Oh, what up, Internet? What's going on? How you doing? What's happening, everybody? It's Wednesday, here to talk about some fishy stuff and whatever. Because it's Wednesday, I'm just going to kind of talk about whatever today, because I feel like talking about whatever. What is jabbing me? Oh. Did I have a level in my pocket? Apparently I did. Something's still getting me. What is that? All right, we're good. Sorry. Slight little break in the action there where I figured out what was in my pocket. Let's say what's up to the first in the chat. It turns out it is Mr. Doug from the UK. Good to see you, Bald and Dangerous. Coming in first. Great to see you. Great to see all your lovely faces here super early today. I like it. Yeah, maybe I started a couple minutes late, but that's regardless. That's regardless of whatever matters, right? Hold on, I gotta click the thing over here. Okay. Yeah. What's this thing doing? Okay. What's that doing? Okay. All right. And it's good. Okay. Is that working? Yeah, there we go. Now it's working. Okay. Good times where I just talk to myself for a minute and click buttons on a different computer, which is probably super entertaining to peoples? Oh, peoples. How you doing? I gotta click these buttons over here and make sure this is good to go. Oh. Mr. Phil Emerson shared my post. He shared my face page post. If anybody's not hanging around the old face page, I posted a picture of that shrimp right there that's finished today. Glad to say, woo, got that shrimp done. That is 2.0. That's version 2.0. Version 1.0 is laying on the ground back there. Where is it? How do I wave around back here? Waving my arm back here. Oh, here we go. Version 1.0 is back there. This is version 2.0 coming to fruition in a town near you or me or wherever. Let's see what we got going on here in the chat. We've got Fishing Key Larbo, Rechab Harris. We've got Candy Overhauls. We've got Soggy Pits. We've got Daryl Dimer. I'm sure Charlie List is in there somewhere. He sent me a chat. He sent me an email saying, hey, man, can you try to get the chat open earlier so we can have early chat stuff? And I shall announce it here on the show. Yes, I shall do my best. Oh, there's Charlie List. I shall do my best to get the chat open earlier so that you guys can do early chat stuff and be like, dude, bro, what's up, bro? Show don't start till tomorrow, bro, but I'm gonna chat here, bro. You know, lady bros, dude bros, all the bros be broing it up on the bro town, right? Oh, stretch my back. My back's hurting today. Leonie Ballantyne is here. That is good to see Leonie hanging around the chat. Oh, and there's Phil Emerson. Did I say? Yeah, I said Phil Emerson shared my Facebook post. So find Phil, and he shared it on the face page. You can check it out. Take a look at a closer image of it. I'm digging it. I'm liking how it came out, and the consumer is happy with this one. Not so happy with version 1.0. So, glad to say that this thing will be out of here and down the road Down the road, she goes. I don't know if it's male or a female. I guess I could count it. It's a male. Yep. Yeah, I guess it is a male. So I guess I do know if it's a male or a female. But Hermes Borgnino is here. Good to see you. Cindy Lou Roman, the D. Thomas CG is here. Savannah the Aqua Llama showing up. Glad to see you. But she says she's without coffee. Going without coffee for you because I'm a dedicated oceaneer. Well, thanks to all the oceaneers, man. I show up because you guys show up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. I show up because you guys show up. That's like the whole thing. Oh my gosh, we have a super chat here while I was just yammering on about nothing. Oh, check that out. Hashtag Pinto Fund. Nice. Which is good. Thank you very much. From Priscilla MK Art. You know what? I was going to be self-deprecating and say a better artist than me. But there's no grading in art. How could somebody be better or worse? She's a different style artist. She does a lot of realism stuff. I do a lot of sort of impressionistic sort of nonsense. Like none of the shading on this shrimp is like, tonal shading or anything like that. So it gives you the impression that you're looking at a shrimp, but it's all just tiny little shapes and stuff that like make into the whole entire puzzle. Hopefully I wonder if that makes sense to anybody out there. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if that makes any sense of what I was just talking about. But yeah, it's also one of the things that I really like about being able to do art and stuff like that is that there isn't a grading system. You don't get an A. You don't get an A. You don't get a B. You don't get a C. None of that nonsense. So that's one of the things that I definitely do like about art is that, you can't necessarily get it right or wrong. Like, if I feel like it's wrong and I don't like it, then that, I guess I would consider that a fail, I guess. So I guess it's more of like it's more along the lines of just pass or fail, right? So you generally just have pass or fail, and maybe you like it or you dislike it. I don't know. I do, one of my teachers, I guess, as it were, was always telling me that art is supposed to be subjective, or it's subjective in the fact that it's like supposed to invoke an emotional response, right? Christopher Grasick is asking, hey, is version 1.0 up for sale? I will check and see if version 1.0 will be up for sale or not. I'm gonna check. I'll check with the commissioner. I'll check with the person that commissioned them, the first one or just the one, and see if that's cool or not. Otherwise, I don't know. Those of you that have been following me for a long time know that I just burn old art. I normally light it on fire, and then you can look at a picture of it burning on Instagram, which probably isn't. I don't know if it's redeeming for very many people, but I bet it evokes that emotional response that some people that one of my early art teachers was teaching me about back in the day, back when I was just a young tyke, having all sorts of strange interactions with the world when I was a young man. Oh my gosh, you guys, I see Mr. Caleb Overhauls with a surprise. We got Caleb Overhauls in the chat today, and as you guys know, Caleb Overhauls our #1 fan. And yeah, by the way, if anybody's tired of me talking about Caleb's GoFundMe, well, tough. That's tough. You know why? Because that's not as tough as what my guy. Whoops! What did I do? Screwed this up. That's not as tough as what my guy's going through with the leukemia. And you know what? The GoFundMe is a good thing, and I like talking about it because I'm trying to help out one of my fish fam, right? and I'm doing my best to get the word out there and do what I can. And there's the link in the chat right there. That gives you a little backstory on Mr. Caleb himself. You can read through it. You could check a bunch of the comments and stuff like that, and probably get like a crazy emotional response, probably more of an emotional response than me lighting my old art on fire, probably. So what's up, Caleb? Good to see you. Yeah, that's Aquarium Coop just said, tired of Caleb? Go fund yourself. Smooth, I like it. Yeah, I guess maybe if people are tired of hearing of, I guess it's really one of those things, like if people are tired of hearing of Patreon, and if they're tired of hearing of GoFundMes, and if they're tired of hearing about that kind of stuff, yeah, just go ahead and get Jeff Bezos on the line and have him throw down and just get everything fully funded, and then we won't talk about it anymore, you know? That's really what it boils down to, I think. You know, when you get down to it, it's like, you know, you could either see hemorrhoid commercials or hemorrhoid cream commercials, or you know, diaper commercials, or like motor oil commercials, or, you know, whatever commercials are going to play all over everything all the time. Or you could hear me make fun of myself and my Patreon page and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't like either of those things, I don't know what to tell you. You could go do something else, I guess. You could go run around in the park, you know? You could do that. It'd be cool, right? And then you'd be like, there's no ads here. Except there are. There are ads at the park. Actually, matter of fact, I was at a public park a little while ago, and I saw a giant billboard for, what was it? It was like somebody was running for city council, and then I saw a giant billboard of toothpaste, a toothpaste ad, which I was like, dude, I'm at the park, bro. Like, can I escape? No, there's no escape. There's no escape. The toothpaste ads. Brush your teeth, kids. I brush my teeth as much as I possibly can. Heck, I would probably brush my teeth during the show, but, you know, that would be awkward and uncomfortable, you know? All right. Those of you out there that are here exclusively for the video portion, I will warn you today, there is no video portion today. We don't have any video portion because all of the video portions I was working on are not done. So I did not want to hop on here and be like, here's half of a thing I did. And the other thing I was doing was cleaning glass and moving really dumb stuff around. So I was just like, you know what? Let's forego the video segment today because it's not gonna be any good. And so I figured, you know what? Let's just get on here and we'll talk about some stuff. I titled it episode 685, time for some new plants, because I do have some new plants in, which are pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. And I lost my little page here where I was going to actually be able to be able to talk about them. And let me see if I can pull that up and see if we can't find it. Let's see. All right. Okay. Did I get it? Okay, come on now. Come on now. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's around here somewhere. There it is. So one of the plants that I got in is the Aflame Sword, otherwise known as the Purple Knight Red Amazon Sword, which actually is not like a super expensive plant. It's just, it takes forever to grow. So we'll talk about that one today. Anybody wants to know about that? I do know, the only place I know where to get it is off of Amazon and a local guy. Well, actually, I know two local guys that have it. So, but I definitely not going to give out their information on here. So, you know. Oh, we got Sergeant Tank Pets popped in to Smashy the Likey, or whatever that little button is called. Well, thank you very much. You get the little like spike, right? You get the like spike from Jeremy. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Where'd that thing go? Well, nah, what? All right, see if we can't get it here. Do. All right. Echinodorus, a flame, purple night red, Amazon sword. This I don't know about this seller, but I'm just gonna use this link as what we could talk about on this one. So let me throw this down here for you. Boom, there's a link. You can check that out. Take a look at that for a little while, and then whoa, what happened here? We also have another plant in, which I have to go and kind of just talk while I try to find that also. Because I realized I had them on my other computer, so I can't look them up and not actually just be looking over that direction. So I might as well talk about why I'm looking over in that direction. Because then people will be like, I don't know what he's doing. It's so weird that he would be doing this on his show. Where is it? Okay, here we go. And then we gotta open the file. Open the file. And the other plant, let's see if I can find the... Oh, cool. You can actually get this one at aquariumplants.com. It's out of stock. Oh, no, it's in. Okay. Cool. Well, how do I... Oh, great. Let's see. Ponte. Der Folia. Ponte der Folia. All right. So here's the other one, and I don't have any kind of snazzy link for this, so we'll just get this one real quick. Boom. There we go. All right, cool. There's the two plants we're going to be talking about today. You guys can look those up if you want. I don't have anything to do with aquariumplants.com, except for the fact I've been a long-time customer of those guys. I used to order plants from these guys for years and years and years. So, yeah, if you want to check those out, that's cool. And we'll talk about those plants in a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that you guys would know what we were talking about, and you have a link to go look at. And, of course, I had them on the wrong computer, so I had to get them exported over here. Oh, my. And I actually had to look one of them up. It's pretty high-tech around here, you guys. You know, it's like I might as well just be rolling a stone down a hill, you know what I mean? Lumpy Dog is pan-frying some strip steaks. Just a pat of butter, or should I add some oil to the butter? Steaks are warming up to room temp right now. Well, typically what I would do if I was going to, do strip steaks, like steak strips, strip steak, like cut up into strips, typically I would go with just butter, unless there was like garlic or salt or like, sorry, not salt, like garlic or shallots or onions or anything else like that you were going to do, alongside them, then I would add some oil. But if I was just doing the steak, like just to sear it, salt and pepper on it, obviously, then I would do just butter. Just a pat of butter. I mean, maybe like, maybe just like half the brick of butter. Go big, you know. As a chef, I've learned bad habits like, adding butter to everything and going buck wild. Bracken says, new plants. What? Well, I got one of these prance. Man, I got one of these plants from Bracken, which, by the way, I guess Bracken's in the chat, so I might as well just chat with him for a second. If his cherry shrimp are doing good, let me know. Shoot me an email, and I'll be able to, the next time that you're in town, bag up some more for you and pass them on your way. Speaking of shrimp and the shrimp tank, so yesterday, like a bozo, I left the water running, and basically did 100% water change and have had to go bananas on trying to get the water back to where I want it to be. Which is unfortunate. Which is unfortunate because I'm having to like redo the water chemistry in that tank, but it's also unfortunate because a bunch of shrimp overflowed out of the sump. And I'll be honest, I went on a little hunting spree and tried to get all of the ones that I could, but I did find a couple of dead ones this morning that were dried out, which is unfortunate, but you know, it's 100% my fault for letting the tank completely overflow. But I'm having to get the like I said, I had to get the water parameters back. Luckily, temperature is fully recovered. The pH is not that far off. The only thing that looks a little bit different is the GH and KH. So everything else is just kind of bounced back pretty quickly. You know, pH is back in shape, like where it should be. The only thing it looks like GH and KH are a little bit higher than I'm used to. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at this point. So, but we've got some super chats here to answer. So let me check this out. Megan Ness with a $4.99 super chat asking, are there any salts safe for freshwater fish? Have a spotted puffer, want to convert to brackish, but I don't have another tank to put him in at the moment. No. I mean, as far as what you're doing, yes, convert that fish over to brackish, but there really isn't a way to just up the salinity, you know, with like a different kind of salt or anything like that. I'm thinking that's what the question here is like, is there a safe way? You know, some freshwater fish can handle a little bit of salinity, you know, especially if they're adapted to, so like mollies, platies, stuff like that. I mean, mollies and platies can go up to full salt, but no, there isn't like a specific, you know, like there isn't a salt that you'd be able to add that wouldn't affect the freshwater fish that are in there. You could take into consideration what fish you have and that they might be able to go up brackish wise and be able to handle that. But I think if you're converting a tank up to brackish, there's a lot that you have to take into consideration. The bioload, a lot of the biological things that are going on in there, and just to keep it simple, when I say biological, so all of your bacteria that's cycling your aquarium and keeping it healthy for your fish and stuff will get hammered by upping the salinity, which sometimes is helpful if you were going to up the salinity. For instance, like if you were going to knock out, just as an example, right? Now, I'm not saying this is what you should or shouldn't do, but as an example, in the past, with some aquariums, I've upped the salinity from 0.000 to 0.010, which is pretty much full brackish, like overnight, to like knock out fungus and things like that. But it is very difficult for the fish to handle it. It's not. I certainly would not recommend it, and it will also cycle your tank. So you need to keep that in mind, that a lot of the bacteria will get hammered out by the salt, because, you know, salt is a desiccant. It does eliminate bacteria. You can actually use it as an antibacterial if you want. And as a quick explanation of that, think of salted meat. The reason why they salted meat for so many years, where if you want to think about it as beef jerky, more like corned beef and stuff like that. You know, they salt meat because it does not let bacteria grow. Like, it's a antibacterial agent. So like old school bleach realistically would be a lot of salt and lemon juice. You combine those two things, it's like earth-friendly bleach. Now, obviously, it's all gritty and it leaves a bunch of residue and it's nasty, but you won't be getting sick from the bacteria and stuff like that. So if you do up the salinity like that, be aware it will most likely cycle. You will lose your cycle. And you'll be dealing with all that, which will be a bigger problem than anything else. So I have converted puffer fish from full freshwater all the way up to full saltwater. You have to do it slowly. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just kind of guess. You have to have not even a floating, not even like one of those floaty salinity meters. You need a refractometer to get a real reading of what exactly the exact salt level that you're at, and you basically need to go 0.0002 increments about every 2 weeks, which is kind of mind-bending because I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how many cups of salt per gallon for full salt. And you know what? I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's a lot. And so you're basically just adding a little bit by little bit by little bit, and you're going to be bringing that salinity up. But you do need to watch out and make sure that your cycle is maintaining properly. Fish Tropic says you need a digital meter, not a digital meter. You want a refractometer is what you want. And let me, I'll grab a link for a refractometer here. Hold on. Refractometer. Here we go now. They're so cheap now. It's super hilarious. Let me find, boom, there's the prime one. $18. Let me grab the little link for you guys. Copy, and then we're just going to bring it over here. Paste. Boom. There we go. That's a refractometer right there. And, order that up, get it in the mail, and then familiarize yourself with how to utilize it. A refractometer is 100% mechanical. There's no batteries. There's no electricity. There's nothing to it. And, the specific gravities that you're looking for need to be measured exactly. Now, originally, when I learned how to use a refractometer was when I used to make gelato and ice creams. Gelato and ice creams, gelato and ice creams. And back then, way back then in the Stone Age, refractometers were like magic. And they cost a lot of money. And I know this because I had to replace one once. And back then, I think it was $150 to get one. And now they are mass-produced in some kind of factory somewhere, and apparently are all the way down at $17.99. And get that thing primed to your door immediately. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see here. Where did this thing go? All right, here we go. Oh, this is the thing right here. I wonder if anybody has any experience with this one. I wonder if anybody in the chat has experience with this lens. Has anybody ever tried this lens? Let me know. That's the lens I'm trying to get next. I'm so excited. I'm halfway there. You guys. I'm halfway to it. I noticed that a lot of people were talking about their taxes because yesterday was the tax day. I'm halfway there because I had to pay my taxes, and it was brutal. It was a brutal karate chop from the government right into my pocketbook, and Oh, hold on. I left the volume on over there. Whoops. Sorry about that, you guys. People wondering what that beep is. You know what that beep is? Do you know what that beep is? Oh, that's my moderators. Let's see. Good news from the moderators. Sounds like everybody's paying attention. Everybody's paying attention and minding their P's and Q's on a hump day. Ha ha! But yeah, anyhow, I was paying my taxes, and I just got kind of brutalized on it, and now I'm halfway there. And now I'm wondering, now because I can't pull the trigger on getting it, right? Now I'm wondering, wait a minute, maybe somebody out there is like, this lens sucks, it's the worst, even though I've got nothing but rave reviews about that lens. So, but maybe somebody out there has some like real insight that I would like to hear. Because I saw one review on the Amazonians that was like, but I like my Tamron one better. So I don't know. There might be a better alternative out there, and I figure, hey, I'll crowdsource it with you guys. If you guys know something that I might need to know, then that'd be rad. Sergeant Tanks says, I use my finger and tongue as a human refractometer. That's weird. But, you know, if you can get accurate readings that way, so if you can actually stick your tongue and your finger in there and come up with an actual good reading, then that's cool, but my tongue and fingers don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. We do have we have an important chat here. We must get to from Savannah the Aqualama as kind of a follow-up on our food talk a little bit. Says, Joel, I need a chef's perspective. Wood cutting board used only for fruits and veggies, clean with lemon, coarse salt, and baking soda, or use diluted bleach. Okay, I can answer this question. Okay, first of all, you've already done exactly what you're supposed to do with your cutting boards in the first place, and that's make sure that you, utilize different cutting boards for what you're going to do on a regular basis. So if you have a vegetable board, that's the vegetable board. If you have a chicken board, only cut raw chicken on that board. Beef, pork, shrimp, all that kind of stuff. So if you actually go in my kitchen, you'll notice that I have like 7 cutting boards, and they're all actually color-coded so that I know what I'm using, when I'm using, and what to use it with. And Candy, don't tell me I've missed a super chat. I haven't gotten to it yet, Candy. Gosh. I see it there. I haven't gotten to it. I'm answering this cutting board question. Gosh. Yeah, I will get to the super chats here in just a second. But yeah, so if you go in my kitchen, you'll notice that there's a green board, a red board, a yellow board, a blue board, like an off yellow board, and then some white ones. And the white ones are all different sized. So the reasons for that is that I can coordinate exactly which boards I'm going to use for what. Now, the meat boards that I use, I will just douse them in bleach and hammer them, because I'm like, the worst thing that could happen is that I kill off some of this raw chicken bacteria or whatever, you know? And that's what I want to do anyhow. I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of the raw meat and stuff. So I use a vegetable board and a fruit board for my vegetables and fruit. Generally, I only use the one thing that I'm really bad at home is that I cut onions on all of the boards because I'm a maniac. But in a typical restaurant, there'll be like an onion cutting board and for that one. But fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, those cutting boards, you can actually just clean with salt, baking soda, and lemon. It is not a big deal, but I prefer to utilize bleach as much as possible because it's sort of like you can't screw it up. Like, it's just time tested and mother approved. And I think I told this story a while ago. Chlorine dosing system. Where is that thing? So one of the companies I used to work for was a giant dishwashing company, and the guy who started that company was a guy who got a gigantic, so back in the Great Depression, so the 30s and stuff like that, chlorine actually was a byproduct, was a waste product from, oh crap, what was it from? Anyhow, chlorine was a byproduct from some industrial process, which escapes my mind right now exactly what it was. And the guy that had started that company had received basically a whole bunch of tankers of this chlorine, this liquid chlorine, right? That, you know, being a guy from the Depression was just like, yeah, I'll take that and I'll figure out what I can do with it later, you know. And he basically like teamed up with some people, and they figured out that the chlorine is a great disinfectant if you can dilute it down into water. And that was just how the modern day, or one of the modern day dishwashers was invented, which is the third stage of the process. It's the sanitation, wash, rinse, sanitize. And so I guess that's interesting. I don't know. I don't even know the reason I was even telling that story. I don't know. But I always feel like just utilizing bleach in water is the easiest way to sanitize stuff. It just really is, because you know, if you measure out a gallon of water, you know how much water you have and you know how much bleach to add. Whereas with the, you know, with the baking soda or the lemon or that kind of stuff, like, it just does get confusing. So the easiest thing to do with your cutting boards is to wash them in hot soapy water, rinse them off, put the bleach on them, and then let them fully, you know, the bleach water solution, not pure bleach. You don't want that. You want to make sure that you have a tablespoon to a gallon. Let that, you know, you rinse that down, let it air dry. Air drying is one of the biggest parts of the process with sanitizing anything. So when you're sanitizing stuff from an aquarium, you're sanitizing things in your house, whether it's a cutting board or a knife or what, or sinks or toilets, whatever it is, the air drying is a huge part of the process. So like they, for instance, with like those biomedia rings, I've been getting a lot of questions about those. Some people have had some that have turned brown over time. They want to figure out how to, like, and I put air quotes on this, recharge them or clean them or doing that kind of stuff. I do not recommend using soap with those, but you can move them over to some hot water, let them soak for a little bit, then add in a little bit of bleach to the water, let it sit overnight, then take it out, rinse them off, then let them air dry. It's going to be one of those things, but they're obviously not going to have any bacteria or anything left on them. But that's something that you can do with them, because that's the process that we used to do with all of the stuff that came out of all the clients' reef tanks, right? And, you know, reef rock is a similar porosity as that, the sintered glass and the bio rings, right? It's a very similar porosity and stuff like that. So it does work very well. But the drying is a very important part of that process, that evaporation. All of the chlorine from the bleach and stuff like that will evaporate. Then with a fully dried surface like that, you won't have any bacterial growth that you don't want. So that's a process that does parallel to, you know, fish equipment and stuff like that. And it is a way that you can, you know, so I've heard a lot of people being super paranoid about their nets, right? And going from tank to tank with nets and stuff like that, which I don't recommend necessarily. I'm not saying, like, go do that. I do have separate nets around, and a lot of people want to sanitize their nets. I find that air drying actually does just eliminate most of the bleach off of nets. But other equipment like brushes and things like that is a great way to... it is a great way to actually, you know, sanitize, like brushes or any old stone, or maybe you even have some reef rock, you know, maybe you have some leftover reef rock or reef fixtures, or maybe some stuff that was actually living in a tank. Maybe you have a SpongeBob SquarePants and you don't want it to still be all gross and nasty. So you can actually just clean it off, put it in the same sanitizing solution, let it air dry, and then if your kids run off with it and stick it in their mouth or whatever, no worries. You'd be fine. You're not really giving them salmonella or anything like that. But we've got a super chat here from Priscilla MK Art at the $5 mark, which makes it green. Well, we've got green, we've got yellow, we've got light blue. All right. Saying, is there a chance if I send you an original rummy nose, you can paint me a small canvas with a yellow golden back shrimp with a stressed out smiley emoji with the tears coming out of its eyes, like this? I don't know. Yes, Priscilla, we could probably work out an old swap-a-rooney. I am going to be working on some more shrimp coming up in a way different style from these. One of them will be for my good friend. Well, I don't know if we're good friends. I feel like we've yet to have that real trust fall moment, you know? Jimmy and I feel like we haven't had that real, like, you fall off the cliff and I'll catch you, bro. I'll save you. And then we'll be like, da-na-na-na-na-na. Ha. Na-na-na-na-na. Ha. Right? Or is that the wrong song? You'd be like, you are the wind beneath my wing. Right? Is that how that goes? Which song is it? I don't know. Whichever song it could be. But Jimmy and I don't know if we've had that fall off the cliff moment or even the Point Break moment. You know, we haven't had the Point Break moment either yet. But we will at some point in time because I found out that we got our camping trip is booked. So we're going hiking, we're going camping, and that's coming up. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm super stoked for that. That's coming up in May, and hopefully Jimmy and I get some super awesome action shots while we're out in the woods and stuff like that. I am looking forward to doing some astral photography, you know, stars, moons, things along those lines, and also things along other lines, and things along those other lines, like rivers and trees and deers. Oh, my lordy, we've got $10 super chat from Daryl Dimer, and he didn't even ask a question. Ooh, look at that new avatar picture. I love the doggy. You know, guys, my dogs aren't here today. And it's not because they aren't here. It's because, I will tell you, the sun came out, and they are completely ignoring yours truly because they are outside in a sun-baked coma. Where is my camera? Where did it go? I don't know. I put it somewhere weird. Camera, where are you? I don't know where my camera went. Hoi. Did I move it too far? I think I moved it too far. Hold on. I can't see the whole camera here. Oh, I did. Come on now. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring it in for the real thing. There. Sort of. Yeah. Like that. All right. I'm going to move the camera. Check this out. Watch this technology in action. Camera control. Zzz. Whoa. Yeah. There we go. Glorious wonder. Technology. Moving cameras during a show. That's how I do it. But who was asking? Who was that? Somebody was asking, what camera do you shoot? Oh, the Turtle Girl. What's up, Turtle Girl? Good to see you. Saying, what camera do you shoot again? Well, I have a Canon 6D Mark II, which is my new camera, which I'm very stoked and zazzed for. It looks like this, except it's not an 80D like this one is. But this is my backup camera, is my 80D. This is my backup. This is the one that I hang off the cliff. You know what I mean? This is the one that I put in danger spots. I don't put the 6D Mark II in danger spots. It freaks me out too much. So Yeah, those are the two cameras that I shoot. As you guys, a lot of people that have been following know that pretty much everything I've got's been going into that 6D Mark II lenses. Pulled in some favors. Wait, here's the strap for it. Proof. I have the strap, but of course I don't have the strap on the camera. What are you, ridiculous? Someone would probably try and steal it from me. By the way, if you are going to take your Canon camera around, I do highly recommend to get a different strap for it. Mainly for that reason. Somebody hits you over the head and steal your camera. That would be the main reason. Swap the strap out. Although I might do a little video on the strap that I have. It was like $12, and it's got a quick release on it. It's very helpful. It's a sling strap, so it doesn't actually go around your neck like this one. So this strap actually goes around like this. Man, it gives you the Hunchback of Notre Dame feels. Whereas my sling strap goes like this. So it goes like this, and then you actually can just wear it around like that and then pull up and shoot. So way more comfortable, and it was super cheap. But yeah, I don't recommend to anybody to wear around a Canon strap. It's like any creep within 1,000 yards, they just see that thing like, oh, over there. I got to go over to that guy. Let's see. Let me check up on the chat. Mateo says if it comes running, it's a wizard. That would be cool. If my camera came running in here when I was like, I just start calling for it, that would be awesome. Bracken is saying the sun is killing them. Any chickens fall prey to the sun coma? You're darn right. The sun is finally out, and I will say some of the chickens are out there just blasted by the sun. Those of you that don't know, it has just been sideways raining here in Western Washington for like 2 weeks straight. 2.5 weeks, maybe longer. And it's been ongoing. Oh, Greg N is here. The zombie drummer is here. Nice. Sergeant Tank Pets is saying, I bet Joel totally used to rock the karaoke. You're darn right. But here's the question. Who would I sing at karaoke? Who? I wonder if anybody could get that right. In the meantime, while you guys try to figure out who I used to sing at karaoke, let's run over to the Super Chats over here and gather these up. And we'll talk about these real quick. Beck M with a $2 Super Chat with thoughts on Matin filters. I think that Matin filters are fine and dandy, except they are ugly as all get out. I just think that they take up the whole tank. They work great. I mean, they just work like a wall sponge filter. So it certainly works. You know, I think that they work great. I just think the big downside is the aesthetic portion of them. Other than that, then they do work fantastically. They carry some biological stuff in them just because of the surface area in the Matin filter. And you know, their big selling point is that they'll keep shrimp from going, you know, like over this way into the filter, you know, over that way, right? Cannibal corpse. Maybe. Yeah, I think Matin filters work really well. I just don't think that they're very attractive, and don't work out that great for me because of the aesthetic portion. But if you were going to have if you were going to have, what's the word? Yeah, I mean, if you were going to have like a bunch of breeding tanks and stuff like that, I would say the matin filter's probably the way to go, or just some of the bigger sponge filters would be cool, realistically. So let's see who got them right out of the chat here. Let me scroll back, and we will say, Mateo says, "What do you mean used to? I don't do the karaoke anymore. That's not my environment. As a sober guy, I don't do that anymore." Big Texas Tank says Pantera. I know pretty much every Pantera song out there. I can't really do a great long-term impersonation of Phil Anselmo because it's just too much. That dude is like Hulkamaniac, and I just can't really do that one. Aquarium Co-op says, sings Queen is my guess. Freddie is the man. Yes, Queen would be one of them. I would definitely sing Queen at karaoke. Van Halen, no. Blondie, I think I have, but no. Or The Who? No, couldn't do it. Alyssa Bentley says, yes, made it home to South Seattle from North Seattle in only 45 minutes. Oh, this time of day. Yeah, good luck. Wasabi Tsunami says Taylor Swift. Well, she wasn't a one, you know. She was not alive back then, probably. Terry's Tropical Tank says David Bowie. Correct. I would definitely do David Bowie. Freddie Mercury. Bare Bottoms Aquariums. Correct. I used to do Tool a lot. Maynard James Keenan is actually pretty easy to sing along to because he's often in key throughout his whole song, so it's actually pretty easy to sing along to. And somebody else got the other one right, which was, where'd it go? Where did it go? Somebody had it here. I just have to scroll. I have to scroll. It's the worst when I'm scrolling, you guys, because I'm trying to read and scroll at the same time. Whoever said Prince, I didn't see it. But those would be my 4 go-to back in the day. Would be Queen, Prince, Tool, and David Bowie. Those would be the 4 that I would go for on a regular basis. I would normally do a rock block of like 3 of those. And Phil Collins is asking, would you do Under Pressure? I have done Under Pressure, but you need another singer for Under Pressure because it's 2 singers. So you have to pick one, and then what you're going to do, you know. So, but yes, I would do, Priscilla said Prince. Okay, cool. I couldn't find it. So I saw somebody had posted it up there, but I hadn't seen it. But yeah, I used to be able to do a lot of Tool, you know, back in the day. I have to admit, I definitely very much enjoyed Tool for a really long time. I do not like their new music. Something about it. I just don't like the Perfect Circle and all that. I just don't. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's just like a preference thing. I'm not saying it's bad. I would say I just don't like their new stuff for whatever reason. But I was listening to some new albums, and some were good, some were bad. Go Famous Aquarius, go Genesis. Yeah. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Get a home version of karaoke, no booze needed. Yeah, if I was going to do karaoke at home, I probably would just start a band or something, which I don't have time for. So that's why I'm not in a band, because I just do not have time. I do not have time. Bentley Pascal says maybe some Real Big Fish. No, but I did see them last year with no effects to the zombie drummer there. I saw them together at whatever that tour was. It was they came to Tacoma, and I went and saw them. I forget who else was there. Oh, Bad Religion was there, and maybe Pennywise or something? I forget who else. I forget who opened. But Real Big Fish was the first band that I actually, like, watched. like once we got in there. But I forget who opened. I think it was Pennywise or something like that. Nisi says you don't like a perfect circle. Unsub, frowny face. No, I just don't like the music. It's just personal taste. Let's see. Lumpy Dog says the steaks are perfect. Thanks. Also mushrooms, onions, and red skin taters. Nice. That's perfect. I gotta start some dinner myself. But luckily, I'm ahead of the game, you guys. I'm ahead of the game on the dinner action. Mateo says you are sober now. Yes, I am sober now. I'm coming up on 4 years sober. Now, speaking of that, I want to speak a little bit about sobriety today, what it means to me, and what it's all about. Because as a personal experience last night, I had somebody call me about 4,800 times in the middle of the night to try and ask me how to get sober. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you who it was because that doesn't matter to the story here. And namely because this isn't the only time that this has happened to me. Now, the first part here I would like to recommend to you is these kind of phone calls and stuff come in from time to time. They will happen to everyone throughout your life. And my first piece of advice would be to try and let you guys know how to react to them. If there's an emergency, of course answer it. Of course find out what you can do and figure it out. And more often than not, though, when I get these calls in the middle of the night, it's from somebody who has partaken in a few too many, maybe barley sodas, maybe prescription pills or something from the doctor, or whatever substance may or may not be going on. And it's often these late night phone calls that are like, how do I fix this right now? And I will tell you how to respond to this. You tell them, stop doing whatever it is you're doing right now and go to sleep. Does that seem like a simple answer? Yes, because it is. Yes. Keep it simple. And just be like, hey, if you're smoking crack right now, stop and go to sleep. Stop calling me and go to sleep. Somebody's drinking whiskey in the middle of the night, tell them to stop and go to sleep, or whatever. If they need medical attention, have them call an ambulance. The ambulance guys know how to drive 99 times out of 99. So the ambulance guys are sober and can drive them there, give them the treatment that they need, the help that they need at the moment that they need it. If it is not an emergency, tell them to just stop and go to sleep. Then tell them if they're really serious about whatever they're doing, call you back in the morning, and it is time for them to go to a meeting. Now, they could go to whatever type of sobriety-seeking meeting that they want to go to, whether it's Smart Recovery, AA, NA. There are a bunch of other kinds out there now. Tell them if they're serious about it, go to that meeting, go sit there and listen to what's going on, introduce yourself, and listen to what is going on. Once they have gone to that meeting, then have them call you and let them know, let you know that they went and they sat through it and they talked to some of the people there. And guess what? If you go to a recovery type meeting, people there will reach out to you. They'll go, hey, who's that new boy or girl here? Hi, I'm Gerald. How you doing? What's going on? Are you just new to the area? Or is this your first day? Oh, is this your first day? Well, guess what? Now we're at the appropriate place where I could talk to you about whatever it is that you got going on. So let's do that. Now, when I initially went to recovery and got sober, guess what? When I went to those meetings and I talked to some of those people, guess what? They talked to me and they said, what's going on? What are you doing? What's happening? What's the thing here? Do you got a book? You know what's happening? What are you doing? And I went, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening. And they went, okay, well, then we'll tell you what's up. And guess what? You know, the people in there can tell you what to do. They can tell you what to do for the next couple days. They can tell you what to do for tonight. They can tell you what to do. They can tell you what to do, how things are going to go over the next month, how they're going to go for the next 2 weeks, 6 months, whatever. The answers are there, and the directions are there in those rooms, whether it's, like I said, it could be smart recovery. It doesn't have to be AA. It doesn't have to be NA. It doesn't have to be any of that stuff, but you have to go to a legitimate recovery room, and there will be people there to help you out. It is 2018 right now. It is a really easy Google search to find where a meeting is going to be at, when it is going to be at, what type of meeting it is going to be, whether it's going to be all male, all female, or co-ed or whatever. Now, personally, for myself, I like to go to male meetings, which are often referred to as stag, because it's a, you know, it's a old school. It's old school, whatever. But I prefer to go to all male meetings. Now, the reason for that is there's generally all dudes there. It's easier for me to relate to just having conversations with just men about certain things that could or couldn't be going on as a possibility of whatever could be happening there and what I could be talking about or any of that kind of stuff. As you guys know, I'm a pretty open person. I don't mind sharing most of the stuff that's going on in my life, but there's a bunch of stuff that it's just not really anybody's business except for the business of the people that's in those rooms, and that's the reason for those rooms. It's the reason people are there. That's why they're meeting there and stuff. So once you go there, they'll give you a manual. You'll get a bunch of phone numbers. There'll be people that you can talk to, and they'll give you direction and tell you what to do. So if you do get the phone call like I got, I recommended them to go to a meeting, and we shall find out if they went or not. But realistically, it is up to the person that is making those calls and stuff like that, and needing to, they need to put some energy and some effort into what's going on. That's really what it boils down to. It's going to be a bunch of work. It's going to be a bunch of work to get all your life all figured out, all the stuff that's going on and the things that you're going to have to work through. But it is very important work, and it is very, very worth it. So I highly encourage anybody out there that needs to get some help or anything like that to either go get it, because it is free. You just got to show up. So that's my recommendation. And if you do get a phone call like that and miss a bunch of sleep like I did and look all super tired and be operating through my whole day because I'm all tired because I got about 1 billion phone calls last night, that's how you can deal with that. And then turn your phone off. And you can go to sleep and take a nap. We got a chat here. We got a little bit of a chat here from, hold on. I want to say that's wrong. Vexing Cat. Hold on. We've got a recount here. Where'd it go? Oh, I saw it pop up. Well, hold on. Vexing Cat. Even had to get my gallbladder removed. I lost over 120 pounds in 3 months. Yeah, that's big time. Wasabi Tsunami says it's even worse when that person also suffers from PTSD. I know this. I personally know this myself also. But there are programs out there. There's help for everybody out there. Okay? Even a good friend of mine who's in recovery was intrigued to find out that there are AA and NA meetings in China. Okay, so I've often encountered people that are like, well, there's not like any meetings around here. Well, guess what? When I went to Kansas, found a bunch of meetings there. When I went to Montana, meetings there. Wyoming, meetings there. California, meetings there. Oregon, meetings there. Michigan, meetings there. Doesn't matter where I go. And like I said, here's a good friend of mine, and I found this out 2 years ago, as he was off in China for a business trip 2 years ago. Came back and he was like, "Yeah, hey, check it out. Here's some Here's some pictures from the meetings I was at. Here's all these people I met." And so that's one of those things. There's all that help is out there. Do the work. Get it rolling. It's the only thing that I can recommend for people to do. Is it hard work? Yes. So is building an aquarium. That's hard work. So is painting, meticulously painting a big shrimp. That's hard work too. So is getting up every morning and going to a job that you have to work some kind of for some other corporation or any of that kind of stuff. That's hard too. But guess what? We all get up and we do all this stuff that we need to do. It's all hard work and it's worth it. And we just keep plugging forward and doing the good stuff that we're doing. So if you can improve your life that way, in a free way, that you just get to go do it, you get to meet cool people, make some good friends, do some good work, feel better about yourself, and just feel better in general. I highly recommend it to anybody like that, to anybody out there that may or may not even be considering it. Just go for it. One of the big things that stands out in my mind is that somebody asked me at one point in time, they were like, do you think you have a drinking problem? I said, I don't know how to figure that out. And he said, how about just quit for a year? And I was like, what? That's insane. Do you know how long a year is? Of course, they knew how long a year was, but it sounded insane to me, and that's when it clicked in my head that I was like, oh, yeah, I got a situation here. And, yeah, that was the straw for me. I don't know what it is for anybody, but that's what it was for me. Jade Orsey says, meetings in Wisco. I like Wisco. What up? Let's see. My brother, Savannah says, my brother has been in recovery for 2 years for alcoholism, pain medication abuse, and other substances. Getting help was the best thing he ever did. He's alive with his son and taking care of life. That is awesome. That's fantastic. That's what I like to hear. You know, I know that like the gun issue and the self-driving cars and all that kind of stuff is weighing heavy on a lot of people right now. But I just continually see people turn their back on the drug and alcohol abuse throughout the world, and just how many people are dying from it on a daily basis. It's insane, and it just doesn't even make the front pages anymore. So, do I feel like it's a personal thing for me to share it out there a little bit? Yeah, I do. I do feel like it's a personal thing because I want to remind people that you know, people aren't a lost cause. You're not a lost cause. If it is you, if somebody else is not a lost cause, or how to deal with it if you are encountering it, like the opium epidemic in the United States is insane. Hold on, and I'm going to look this up. From Opiates USA. Let's just look up USA, right? Do. Let's check this out. This is mind-bending right here. 20,000 people from just synthetic opioids last year. 14,000 from semi-synthetic. 15,000 from heroin. 10,000 from cocaine. Meth is only 7,000. Yeah. So, you know, we hear about how, let's see, last year, over 64,000 drug overdoses in 2016. So it's probably even higher than that in 2017, which is a mind-bending number. And, you know, so we're all going to be touched by it. So I feel like it's a contextual conversation that we are all going to be touched by it at some point in time. It keeps coming up in my news feed that I keep finding out people are dead for litany of reasons. This is just one of the many, but it does come up pretty often. So just as somebody who contributes to the Fish Fam, just to talk to you guys about it for a little bit, I think it's really important, and hopefully you guys can navigate it. And to me, it's contextual, like I said, because I was navigating all of that communication from last night, which is also one of the reasons that I was not necessarily able to have a video portion today, but that's the life. All right, we've got a super chat here from some idiot, otherwise known as Kevin Keener. He changed his screen name from Kevin to some idiot, so that every time I got to say his name, I'm saying some idiot, and I think I think it sounds like I'm trying to be a jerk, right? Right? But I'm not trying to be a jerk. He changed his screen name to some idiot. Just a little. So a $5 super chat saying, just a little they taxed me on. Now they can tax you on it. We're tax buddies. Which is great. Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate it. That's big time. It's big time. Big time super chat. Very much appreciate it. And, excuse me. Tampa Tom just popped in. He was asking about new plants. So here's one of them. Tampa Tommy. And then where did the other one go? Oh, man. I had a super hot link, and I lost it. Where did it go? There it is. Now I found the link to the thing. And I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. Boom. There are 2 new plants that are in, and you can check those out. Those are the 2 places that I know that is carrying them. One is on the Amazons, and the other one is at aquariumplants.com. So, you know, also if you are looking for plants, Candy just posted the affiliate link to order from the Aquarium Co-op, and I would tell anybody out there, yeah, order from the Aquarium Co-op. I love those dudes. He's my homie, and you know, he wouldn't be my homie if he wasn't cool dudes. You know what I mean? What is this? I've got an email, you guys. We've got an email coming in. What is this? What is this chaos? You guys, we've got a problem here. Oh my God, it's my dream home. Hold on, I'm checking it. Okay. You guys, it's got a kitchen. Okay. It's got a bedroom. It's got a bathroom. Oh my God. Does it have a second kitchen? Oh my gosh, it does. Has a laundry. Has another bathroom. Has a basement with a giant safe in it. This house is insane. It's got 3 kitchens in it. Okay, I don't even know what... Why did anybody send me this ad? There's no way I can afford this crazy house. It's got 3 kitchens in it. I don't know what's happening. Oh my God, you guys, it's got a smokehouse. Okay, I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to figure out how to do it, you guys. I'll be moving far, far away, you guys, because somebody just sent me a link to a house that I need to buy, apparently. But thanks for the super chat, Mr. Keener. And those are the 2 plants that we will be talking about here shortly. I'm going to get into those. Want to answer the super chat from the zombie drummer here. It's $11.12. That's a sizable super chat, my guy. And he says, late to the party. Sut this. Sut dits. Dits. Sup. What happened? I don't know. Zombie drummer. It's making me laugh. Mateo says, is it in Idaho? Yes. Yes, it is. It actually is. I don't know where Mateo is, but if I could send you the link, Mateo, I would. But yes, it's in Idaho. Idaho. It has a barn. It has a barn, a shop, a garage, and a smokehouse, and 3 kitchens, apparently. It's a giant house. That's a big old house. Totally wild. All right. Well, either way, sorry for getting hellaciously distracted by that email coming in. It popped up on the alert thing over here because it came from a specific person. All right, so let's talk about these plants, you guys. The Ponditerifolii, right? This cryptocrine is actually pretty easy to keep. It's just so rare to see it around my area. You just don't see it up here. And I actually did get it from my guy, Bracken, who was actually in the chat right there. I've yet to ever see it in a store up here. I've never seen it in a store. I haven't seen it in a wholesaler. Basically, the only place that I really know where to get it is online. So it's not something that I normally see around very often. And one of the pretty cool things about this plant is that it sort of is like a Anubias and a Crypt like had a baby. So as you guys know, it pretty much falls into a category that you've combined the two plants that I like the most, and yeah. So I'm pretty excited to grow this thing out. I've got a little one going that I got from Bracken, and I'm pretty excited for it. And it's doing fairly well so far. It has sprouted. It started doing some other things. The other crypt I'm looking to get right now is the Cryptocrine Hoodoroi. I don't know how to say that right. Hoodoroi. That's the one I'm actually looking for right now, and we do have some of that coming in fairly soon. But I'm glad to get this plant in. I'm super stoked for it. I've had, full disclosure, I've had this plant for a little while. I wanted to see how well it would adapt to my system, and so far it has been doing quite well. I've got it in the sump, which means now I'm going to be able to move it up to the display. Because the main reason for that is I want to adapt plants in my sump because it gives me an opportunity to make sure that they're going to do fairly well. They're gonna A, do fairly well, and B, one, I make an area for it to go in. I want to make sure ahead of time that it's going to do well, and in the area that it's in will actually be occupied by a plant and not a dead thing, you know, so I don't have to go back and, you know, do the same work over again when I have to take the dead plant out and then get it in. Like, Boost Plant seems to be the one place that typically carries this plant also, but it does look like aquariumplants.com supposedly has it for pretty darn cheap at $3.49 a bunch, but it seems like super low to me, but them being down in Florida, they might be able to be getting like some kind of good deal. I'm not sure. Everywhere else that I looked previously seemed to be out of stock, and their pictures do not look like what I have. So maybe I have a different plant. Bracken, do I have a different plant? I might. I thought I had Pontederifolia. Right? I don't know. I might have a different plan altogether. I don't know. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. Sorry. I was talking about that plant, which is awesome. And the other one is this plant right here. Here we go. The Piptospatha ridleyi, right? Bracket says got his first runner, so it does look a little bit different. But yeah, it is doing quite well, and I'm not complaining too bad. But as Aquarium Co-op says, he can get it, but it melts so hard the customer complaints were through the roof, so we stopped carrying it. Yeah, that's normally one of those things. One of the things I want to remind people that if you do have plants that melt and whatnot, try to be as patient as you can. Try to be as patient as you can. It is often the case with a lot of plants, with a lot of plants out there, is that they have an opportunity to, you know, once they've melt, they have an opportunity to come back, and oftentimes people will like just throw them out because they're like, well, it died, and now it just whatever, it's going to be gone. And here's a, let's see. Oh, okay. Here we go. Copy. So, and then here is also a new plant that is in, and this is from some place that I've never ordered from, but that's just an opportunity to get a chance to look at what the plant is. The Ridley Eye is pretty interesting little plant. It won't grow this small. It actually grows. It actually grows a little bit bigger underwater, which is weird. It's sort of like kind of the backwards of what you'd expect this plant to do. It grows a little bit bigger underwater instead of smaller. But this is a really cool plant. It looks awesome. I got some of the worst pictures of it today that I think I've ever taken in a really, really long time. So, I think the reality is that I'm going to have to keep doing some work with that one. Now, one of the plants that I'm super zazzed about that I got in this last weekend was when my guy, Bentley Pascal, came by. And by the way, you guys, I almost always remind people the easiest way to get good plants is to get them from local places. So, you know, if you have a local fish store or a local people that you can get them from, like somebody's already ordered it from somewhere, and get them in, then they've already converted them and stuff like that. If you can get up, if you can get to that, source, that's like the greatest source that you can find for plants and stuff like that. They've already been adapted to your local water. They're already growing, you know, in what would be the water near you and stuff like that. And oftentimes they've been converted and cultivated underwater as opposed to up above the water. And it makes it a lot easier to get those plants and have them be super successful. You know, it's probably the best place to go as far as I'm concerned. And so that's really what I would do. As far as a recommendation goes, if you need to go online, just double check those sources. Like I said, I've been in the Aquarium Co-op's warehouse. Like I helped them hook up some tanks and stuff like that. So I've seen what they do with their plants. They do a great job of converting them and send out good stuff. They have great customer service, so I always recommend those guys. Like I said, aquariumplants.com. It's been a long time since I got anything from them, but for years and years and years, that's where I got a lot of my plants in that I couldn't find locally. And so I kind of recommend those. I'm kind of worried about posting Amazon links and stuff like that, but typically you guys can do a little bit of research and see if a seller is good on there or not ahead of time. But my biggest recommendation is make it to your local club meetings. Go to those for sure, and then you'll be able to kind of hook up with some of the people that are bringing in stuff that you can hook up. You know, that's going to be the best place to get them from. Oh my gosh, we got a super chat here from the Lumpy Dog saying, thanks for the cooking tips. Keep on keeping on. Well, thank you very much, Lumpy Dog. I will keep on keeping on. All right, I can't think about really much else that I wanted to talk about today. I think we're kind of winding down here. We'll probably just, I guess since I don't have any video stuff, that's probably what normally occupies that extra time, isn't it? That's probably when it goes in, right? The video stuff normally goes in. Daniel keeping fish is late there. Better roll. It's getting kind of late here, too. I'm going to have to probably go hang out with my dogs and get some dinner ready for Victoria. So that kind of stuff. And by the way, the chicken that I was supposed to take to the vet the other day, what a miserable exchange with that. You know, I got stuck trying to get off the freeway to get to the vet in some traffic nonsense on Canyon Road, and then once I got there, they were like, yeah, we're just going to have to reschedule you. I'm like, yeah, but I'm here now. And they're like, yeah, we're going to have to reschedule you to tomorrow or the next day. And I'm like, well, I can't do tomorrow. They're like, okay, how about Wednesday? I'm like, okay. So I have to go back to the vet again today with the chicken, which will be pretty good because then I'll have to clean the chicken poop out of my wood shop because that's where the chicken is right now, and it keeps getting out of its temporary home and pooping on my floor. So I'll be able to get that stuff cleaned up and stuff, which and it'll also means that I'll be able to what am I looking for here? What's the word I'm digging for? I'll be able to do some final touches on some more videos. Get some more videos out to you guys. I don't know if anybody's excited about short videos, but I do want to remind you guys, one of the biggest things that you guys can do if there is a video that you like, whether it's my channel or anybody's channel, doesn't really matter. One of the biggest things that you can do is share out something that the peoples need. Vexing Cat is asking what's going on with the chicken. It has a really bad case of mites. And maybe something else going on with it. It seems like the mites and stuff are just wore her down so badly that she's all woozy and floppy. But her energy's coming back. It seems like her weight's coming back. But we're going to see what the vet says when I take her in. I've been giving her some medications also. So, you know, it's just kind of a weird situation. I'm not used to taking chickens to the vet, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. It works out. Then tomorrow I got to go get my TSA pre-check on so that I can get through the expedited lines because we're going to Michigan. And if you haven't been to the American Livebearer Association in Michigan, I'll be there with Kobe from the Aquarium Coop. And if you want to meet either of us or both of us or a combination of us, or come to a meeting, or just check out fish tanks and all that kind of nonsense, the live bearers, you know what I mean? That will be May 4th, 5th, and 6th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So if that's an area that you're in and you want to go, feel free. Go. I'll be there. Following that, from the 7th to the 11th of May, we'll be in Nuremberg, Germany for the Interzoo convention. So if you are in Europe or something like that and you want to maybe run into me and Kobe from the Aquarium Coop, the Coopy McCooperton or the Gerald McGeraldson, we will both be there in Germany. So that is your opportunity to come meet us out in Europe. We will be there for those days, 7 to 11. So we'll be there rocking and rolling at the old Interzoo, see what we get coming along. Tampa Tom is asking when you're coming to Florida. I have no idea. New Jersey will be in October for the Aquatic Experience. So that's all the stuff that's on the schedule right now. Camping, travel, stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. Alaska. We'll be up in Alaska. We're going to go to Niecy's house and see if they'll make us dinner. You know what I mean? Will we get lucky? I don't know. But I hope everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday out there. Sneezing. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic Wednesday. Hope you have a great night out there. I'm going to go get all this nonsense done. Thank you to all the super chatters from Lumpy Dog, Zombie Drummer, Kevin Keener, Kevin K, Becca M, Daryl Dimer, thank you very much, Priscilla MK, Megan Ness, yes. Thank you very much, you guys. I will talk to you all later. Has anybody seen that button? Anybody seen that button around?